Let's get some business news for you now. Brian Quinn is back with us in the studio. And Brian, starting out with that big decision from the Supreme Court on Uber.
That's right. Uber's business model in France called into question by Wednesday's decision for France's Supreme Court for civil and criminal cases. The court upheld a lower decision recognizing the right of Uber drivers to be considered as employees, not independent contractors. The ruling could spell big changes not just for Uber, but for France's entire gig economy. Ellen Gainsford reports.
It's bad news for Uber in France. The ride-sharing app insists that its drivers aren't employees, but independent contractors, allowing the company to skip many of the usual, costly responsibilities of an employer, like taxes, social charges, and paid leave. But this Wednesday, France's High Court upheld a 2018 decision to reclassify a driver's relationship with Uber as an employment contract.
When connecting to the Uber digital platform, a relationship of subordination is established between driver and the company. Hence, the driver does not provide a service as a self-employed person, but as an employee.
The court said that as Uber drivers are not free to choose their own clients, fix their tariffs, or define their own working conditions, they don't qualify as self-employed contractors. It's far from the first time the company has faced a lawsuit of this kind. In March 2019, Uber paid out $20 million to drivers in California and Massachusetts, settling a lawsuit recognizing them as employees. And in 2016, an employment tribunal in London ruled that drivers should be classed as workers, with access to the minimum wage and paid holidays. This latest ruling in France won't force Uber to sign employment contracts with all French drivers, but it could still have wider ramifications for other players in the gig economy.
The UK is preparing measures to face the economic fallout from the ongoing coronavirus outbreak. The government has estimated that as much as 1/5 of Britain's workforce could be forced to stay home from their jobs when the virus peaks. Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Wednesday unveiled a plan to ensure paid sick leave for UK workers starting on the first missed day of work, a bid to encourage employees to stay home if they're feeling ill. The Bank of England's next governor, meanwhile, says that UK companies will likely need financial support to weather the outbreak. Andrew Bailey, who takes over in mid-March, said that rate cuts from the central bank will be less important than fiscal measures to finance small businesses. Here he is.
I think it is quite reasonable to expect that we are going to have to provide, collectively going to have to provide some form of supply chain finance in the not very distant future now, to ensure that the effects of this shock from the virus are not damaging to many forms of activity, and probably particularly to small and medium-sized firms. And we're going to have to move very quickly to do that.
European indexes continued to react to the U.S. Federal Reserve's emergency rate cut during their sessions on Tuesday. Expectations growing for action from the European Central Bank in the coming days. London's FTSE 100 ended the day up nearly 1.5%. CAC 40 here in Paris up around 1.33%. Frankfurt DAX up 1.2% at the close. Wall Street still in positive territory as well, gaining following the surprise strong showing by centrist Democrat Joe Biden in yesterday's Super Tuesday primaries. Healthcare stocks leading the way as the sector frets over the single-payer program of Biden's main rival, Bernie Sanders. The Dow up 3.3% so far, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ not too far behind. Crude oil prices in the red as the latest meeting of the OPEC cartel and allies such as Russia failed to clinch an agreement Wednesday on more production cuts to prop up prices. Brent down over 1%, WTI down around 0.2%. Next, the United Nations says falling production in China stemming from the coronavirus will cut global exports by some $50 billion in the coming months. A new report from the UN's Conference on Trade, Investment and Development points to China's critical role as a manufacturing hub in the drop. 20% of the world's intermediate manufactured products now come from China, compared with just 4% in 2002. Those intermediate products are then sent on to other countries for inclusion in finished exports. The effects are expected to manifest within the next 2 to 3 months. UN economists laid out just who will be hardest hit at a press conference Wednesday.
The most significantly affected countries or regions are the European Union to the tune of 15 billion, USA and Japan to the tune of 5 billion, and then Vietnam and Taiwan to the tune of about 2.6 7 to 3 billion. So the impact already has been major, and we expect that it may continue to fall in future months.
And meanwhile, the world's major technology companies are also taking steps to address the epidemic. Amazon has removed tens of thousands of listings from its site to combat price gouging on items like face masks, while Facebook is trying to stop rumors and false information from spreading among its 2 billion users.
Empty shelves as people rush to stock up on toilet paper. The rapid spread of COVID-19 has sparked panic buying and hysteria, partly driven by rumours spread online. Facebook has renewed its pledge to tackle fake news over the virus and announced it will give free ads to organisations like the WHO, CDC and UNICEF to help them get out timely, accurate information. Social media companies have been working to take down posts and videos with bogus claims about the virus. From the outset, the WHO had made fighting misinformation a priority.
We have worked with Google to make sure people searching for information about coronavirus see WHO information at the top of their search results.
Amazon, meanwhile, has removed more than 1 million products as part of its crackdown on vendors trying to capitalise on shortages of hygiene products.
There is no place for price gouging on Amazon. We are disappointed that bad actors are attempting to artificially raise prices on basic need products during a global health crisis.
Tech firms have themselves been affected by the spread of the virus. Twitter has asked staff to work from home. Google and Facebook have both cancelled their developers' events in the spring.
And finally, for business, with the public becoming ever more conscious of hygiene in public places, a French company has developed an antibacterial touchscreen. The So Clean screen uses ions of silver, which the company says kill 99.99% of bacteria, with the protection lasting for up to 5 years. The company Comet Group has patented the technology. It says the screens will sell for between 1 and 10,000 euros. I don't think they're antiviral, though, Laura, so it's not going to save us from the coronavirus.
Oh, I was going to
unfortunately.
say, I thought this was more innovation spurred on by the coronavirus.
Antibacterial, maybe for the next plague that comes along.
Oh,
this
good.
one probably not.
We can look forward to that then, can't we, Brian? Thank you very much indeed, Brian Quinn there with The Business. We're going to take a short break, don't go away.